Hello everyone. In the year of 2025, in the age of the internet, it's hard to believe that magazines once held an important role in our society. People could find all sources of information from magazines and of course come across some misinformation as well. You could come across all types of magazines. You could come across music magazines, sports magazines, porn magazines, and the subject of this video, comedy magazines. To be more specific, I'll be talking about one comedy magazine in particular that has had an enormous influence on American comedy. That magazine is the National Lampoon Magazine. National Lampoon was an American humor magazine. The magazine was founded by Harvard alumni Doug Kenny, Henry Beard, and Robert Hoffman. The magazine was based off of the Harvard Lampoon, which is a humor magazine at Harvard University, and an extracurriculum course in which the trio wrote for. Conan O'Brien is a notable alumni of the Harvard Lampoon. From 1966 to 1969, while writing for the Harvard Lampoon, Kenny and Beard published their own one-shot parodies of Time, Life, and Playboy magazines. They even wrote their own book together, which was a parody of Lord of the Rings called Board of the Rings during this time. Through all that, and at the assistance of Hoffman, the trio went to New York City and founded the National Lampoon Magazine in 1969. The magazine published its first issue in April of 1970 and went on sale on March 19th of that year. The magazine featured a mixture of satire, parody, wit, surreal comedy, dark comedy, blue comedy, and boobs. There was a lot of boobs and nudity in the National Lampoon. You can think of the National Lampoon as a troubled brother of Mad Magazine, but I digress. The formats of the magazine had issues with long and short written pieces, a section of real news items, cartoons, photo comics, and comic strips. Kenny was the editor, Beard was the executive editor, and Hoffman was the managing editor of the magazine. Some of the writing and drawing talents from the magazine were Michael O'Donoghue, Ann Beats, Tony Hendra, Sean Kelly, Michael Coquette, John Hughes, P.J. O'Rourke, Al Jean, Mike Reese, Rick Marovitz, Charles Rodriguez, Sam Gross, Bruce McCall, Arnold Roth, and many more talented people. The creative and commercial peak of the magazine was from 1973 to 1975. During this time, National Lampoon branched off into stage shows and radio, with National Lampoon Lemmings being the stage show and National Lampoon Radio Hour being the radio show, of course. Michael O'Donoghue was the writer for both of them, and the comedic talent to perform them was John Belushi, Chevy Chase, Gilda Radner, Harold Ramis, Bill Murray, Brian Doyle Murray, and Richard Belzer. Their performances in these productions helped them gain national attention. Sadly, in 1975, the golden age of the magazine would come to an end. All three founders of the magazine would leave, although Kenny would remain as the magazine's senior editor for one more year. The trio took advantage of a buyout clause in their contracts for a share of $7.5 million. In the same year, Michael O'Donoghue, Ann Beats, Gilda Radner, John Belushi, and Chevy Chase would leave to join Saturday Night Live. Bill Murray would later join SNL so he could replace Chevy Chase, and Brian Doyle Murray would later become a SNL regular. Harold Ramis would leave to join SCTV. Despite all of this, The National Lampoon name and sensibility would branch out into the world of movies. In 1978, National Lampoon Magazine would release its first comedy movie, which was National Lampoon's Animal House. The movie was written by Doug Kenny, Harold Ramis, Chris Miller, and it was directed by John Landis. It stars John Belushi, Kevin Bacon, Donald Sutherland, John Vernon, Tim Matheson, and Verna Bloom. The movie is about a rowdy, rule-breaking fraternity going up against the authority of the fictional Faber College. The movie became a massive success. It helped start the gross-out film genre, and it is regarded as one of the greatest comedies ever made. In 1980, following the success of Animal House, Kenny and Company would release their next comedy movie, which was Caddyshack. The movie was written by Doug Kenny, Harold Ramis, Brian Doyle Murray, and it was Ramis' directorial debut. The movie stars Chevy Chase, Bill Murray, Rodney Dangerfield, Ted Knight, and Michael O'Keefe. The movie is about a caddy that wants to get a caddy scholarship, but becomes involved in a feud between one of the country club's founders and a self-made guest. The subplot of the movie involves a greenskeeper trying to kill a mischievous gopher. Like Animal House, the movie was a financial success, but unlike Animal House, it initially received mixed responses from critics, but is now regarded as one of the greatest comedy movies ever made. The mixed critical reception of the film caused Kenny to become depressed and worsen his already existing drug addiction. Sadly, on August 27th, 1980, Doug Kenny would die in Kauai, Hawaii, U.S. by accidentally falling off of a cliff. Sorry if I mispronounced that part of Hawaii. He was only 33 years old. On August 20th, 2006, Robert Hoffman would pass away at St. Mark's School of Texas from leukemia. He was only 59. In 1998, the National Lampoon Magazine ceased publication due to financial problems, the departure of key talent, a shift in focus away from its original satirical comedy style, and changes in leadership and ownership. Despite all this, the influence that the magazine has had on American comedy is immense and can still be felt today. It helped pave the way for a generation of comedy writers, performers, and directors to Hollywood. Many alumni from the magazine went on to create and write for shows such as Saturday Night Live, SCTV, The Simpsons, Married with Children, The David Letterman Show, Night Court, and many movies such as National Lampoon's Animal House, Caddyshack, National Lampoon's Vacation, and Ghostbusters. The satirical comedy of the magazine has gone on to influence Spy Magazine, The Onion, Jon Stewart, Stephen Colbert, and Judd Apatow. So I'm very grateful for the National Lampoon for doing all that, even though I didn't grow up reading the magazine. If any of you are interested, I recommend checking out one of the greatest comedy documentaries called Drunk, Stoned, Brilliant, Dead, The Story of the National Lampoon. The book, Drunk, Stoned, Brilliant, Dead, the writers and artists that made the National Lampoon insanely great. The biographical movie, A Futile and Stupid Gesture, and the book that A Futile and Stupid Gesture is based on. That's all good stuff right there. Well, that's all I have to say. If you like this video and you want more like it, then make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share this video. I'm Vaughn Wesley, and have a good one.